All right, man. So you here, man. You kind of walked into this thing today, man, with me. The show ain't really usually this somber, but I think we got some things to address, my man. We got to talk, man, and
Sure.
we got to have this conversation. I definitely want to start off first by thanking you, and then getting your thoughts on everything that's transpired since the middle of the week till today, man. It's so crazy.
Yeah, man, it's definitely crazy. It's definitely been, a lot of up and down emotions, heartbreaking. It's shocked. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. And I think because the videos are so graphic, it just makes it that much worse. It puts you right there almost in the first person, if you will, position to see it. Like, there's no doubt what happened, and that's what's sad about it. You can even hear the policemen's reactions, curse. And, you could tell in their head, they obviously knew that it either escalated too fast or they made a really bad judgment call.
Why are we as black men, why are we criminals? Why are we, I told a white buddy of mine a couple of years ago, man, we were just having a talk, man. And he's one of the people who I appreciate because we had these open talks about race relations. Sometimes me and him working late at night together. And the comment I made to him is like, man, my face is the face of crime in this country, man. And at the time I was saying that, there was a sketch of a criminal, of a perpetrator on the television. I said, look at that dude, man. That might as well be me. Now, here's the funny thing. Right. Next day, I see the same newscast, right? But this time, I'm seeing it with the volume up. The description of the picture was a dark-skinned white man. I swear this to be the truth. Why is it, man, that I am and you are the picture of crime? Because I think that's part of the root of the problem, that these people see us and they see crime. They see something about to happen, so they react in a terrible way when they don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wish if I had the answer to that question. It's a very good question, actually. I think it's just conditioning upon conditioning from generations passed on to where we've been villainized. Everything we do is always this but that. There's always a but in there. You know what I mean? And I think we're never given a fair shot. And I think part of the reason is because they really do fear us. They fear when we get our stuff together and we, educate ourselves and create a community. We're very, very powerful, resourceful, creative people, and they want to oppress that and suppress that creativity. So anything they can do to knock us down one by one, I think innately or inherently, it might even be genetic that they just feel the need to walk over us in any way they can.
Make sure y'all check them out. Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
Go ahead. What?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They portray us negatively in the media. Put up a mugshot of an African American man, but if a white female does the crime, they put up a selfie. It's just the media doesn't help at all. I think we as a people don't help the situation either, as far as preparing ourselves for situations like this and advocating for each other. And it's kind of like we point the finger and say, well, that's not my problem because it's happening over there. It could be one of our cousins, our brothers, our sons, and that's the sad part about it. It could happen to any of us at any given time.
Yeah. Make sure y'all check him out on all social media platforms at DJ Rasta Root and the website smokingshells.com.
Correct.
Let's talk about the evolution of hip hop, man. You've been in the game for a good minute, man, and the game is taking a lot of different turns, from the Sugar Hill Gang to the infusion of like the gangster rap, and then you had Biggie and Pac, and then now it's something else going on right now. You mentioned kind of the way black people and black men present themselves, and I think, to me, there's a lot that goes on in hip hop that trickles down to the youth of this country, the black youth of this country. Give me your take on that scenario, the evolution of hip hop, and how it may or may not contribute to some of the ways we're perceived as black men in today's society.
I think it definitely does. I think the problem, is that a lot of the artists that do have a voice don't use it at the right time. They usually use it once something's happened.
Yeah.
They make all this music that promotes partying and frivolous behavior, negligent behavior. And then when it is time to rally the troops, then they want to make a song. So for example, Jay-Z just put out a song I saw online yesterday, and it's kind of like, okay, you make a song, but what is that going to do? I mean, where are your speaking engagements? When are you going out to the community and reaching out and helping, the youth that don't have fathers around, helping have us create a support system for them? We just want to just party, and then when you're partying all the time, no work's getting done. It's happened when we were in college. It happened when we were in high school. You know what I mean? When you're partying, you're not getting any work done. So it's not going to be any different in the situation, because all the music that's popular now and that's considered like urban or pop is all promoting partying.
Yeah.
And then when you're not partying, what are you doing? You're sleeping because you're tired. So our generation and our movement is severely slowed down because everybody's too tired to actually put in the work that it takes. If we put in a percentage of the work we do in posting, on Instagram and posting memes and Facebook posts, and we're to actually take the time to reach out within our communities. And you can't change the world, but you can certainly change people in your neighborhood. You can help guide, kids in your immediate surroundings. And not many people do that. And even if they do, it's never exalted. It's never, applauded. You don't hear about it. But I think there are people that do things in the community, but it's almost like frowned upon. It's too cool. You're too cool to help, and if you do, you don't really make a big deal about it. So it's a problem, I think, created by a couple generations back when, kids were raised without parents, and those kids end up having kids, and then, something's got to change. So I don't know what does, but something does.
Here's another thing that, as far as the hip hop culture, here's another change that I noticed, and I saw a documentary. I think it was called Fresher Than Me, a CNN documentary, and it talked about how how clothing used to be. Like, it was cool to look like the people that you were in the neighborhood with. But now everybody's talking about Versace and all these European designs. So the Sean Johns and the Carl Kanais and the Pele Peles and all the urban the people who grew up in these neighborhoods that were creating clothes, no pun intended, for us, by us, have kind of been phased out. What is it about us? What is it about the hip hop community that says, in order for it to be better, it has to be different?
As far as our use of our economic resources?
Yeah, exactly. The fact that I'll go pay $1,000 for this Gucci belt, but if my brother made it, I won't even pay $50 for it.
Right, sure. That's a big problem. You see it a lot with even within our community. We go out and spend money on Beyonce tickets. No disrespect to Beyonce.
Sure, yeah.
But then when you have your buddy or your neighbor trying to support, your support is probably going to come in the form of liking what he or she posts or reposting, and that's the extent of it. It's very rare, and it's actually refreshing when someone says, "You know what? Hey, I want to support what you're doing." Because when you use your economic power to what's the word I'm looking for? To
uplift.
Empower, your community. It's a very, very impactful movement that can be created, and we just don't do it. We always, it's a crab in a bucket mentality. It's, well, if I help him, he's going to be better than me. And, as opposed to saying, if I push him forward, once he gets there, he's going to help me up when I'm in need of help. Right? So I think it's the mentality. It's everyone for themselves mentality. You know what I mean? For us, basically.
Yeah,
we do it for ourselves, and that's that. And we don't want to share. We don't want to share the knowledge. We don't want to share the information that's out there. We just want to keep it and hoard it for ourselves. And again, that's learned behavior. I don't think we're created that way.
Yeah. Speaking right now with world-renowned DJ, manager of Tribe Called Quest, and the late, great Phife Dawg. He's DJ Rasta Root, at DJ Rasta Root, across your social media platforms. Let's talk a little bit about your history with Tribe Called Quest. I want some stories, my man. At least a story, man. Give me something, because I saw the documentary, but give me a story that not a lot of people know about your times with Tribe Called Quest.
Oh man, I think there's so many. The funny thing is, obviously, for my age group, I'm a huge fan of music in that era, and of course, Tribe was one of those groups that really kind of was very mysterious to me. And then when I started working with them, or working with Phife, and then working with them, was very surreal. I call it like my little hip hop fairy tale, you know, like
Word.
I'll just be sitting in the room and you just hear stuff, you just hear stories and you're there and you're like, wow, this really happened. Or you hear like what you might have read in the source back in '94 and then Phife will tell you what really happened, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I got a really good firsthand, you know, account of one of the most legendary, I mean, to me, one of the most legendary rap groups of that era, you know, if not ever, you know, and there's so many, you know, counts of stories. I mean, the most recent one was actually after Phife passed, we were at Tip's house, and, you know, it was after the memorial at the Apollo Theater. So, you know, I'm just at the house chilling, and then who's there? You know, I'm just going to run down the list of people that was there. It was like Jack White, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Passion De La, Queen Latifah, RZA, Andre 3000, D'Angelo, a couple other people. And they sat in the studio. It was a small, like, control room. And they were just talking about kind of what we're talking about now, like empowering ourselves and artists helping other artists and the power that we wield that we're not taking advantage of.
Yeah.
And that energy in that room was just really, really crazy to the point where it was like 4 a.m. Latifah had to leave at like 6, and she kept leaving the room saying she said all her goodbyes, and she would just come back like for an hour. And she was like, I can't get enough of this. There's something about being in here. Energy is just crazy. So that's kind of a microcosm of what I say is when we put our heads together and form like Voltron, if you will, it's an unstoppable force. And the more people that realize that, the more people that align themselves with other like-minded people, or even people that think differently, will come together and plan and forge forward. We are a very, very, very powerful source of energy that is totally underutilized and underdeveloped.
Word up. What are you listening to now, man? We're talking about music, talking about all this classic music with the De La Souls and the Tribe Called Quest. You mentioned Queen Latifah, like those conscientious rappers that we came up with. But what are you listening to now? Like what when you hear a new artist now, who amongst the new artists do you listen to and say, okay, I'm with that. I'm good with that.
Sure. The new artists that have impacted me, it's funny, I'm listening to less and less rap than I used to. If I listen to rap, it's the older stuff. A lot of the new artists, you know, of course, the Joey Badasses, I like them, but I'm not a super fan where I know their lyrics and stuff, you know. But the artists that I'm really listening to, actually a year ago, I started listening to The Internet and, you know, their Naked Pink Ladies album, and then Ego Death earlier this year or last year. And then now I'm listening to Anderson .Paak on repeat. His mixtape album, Malibu, is, I mean, just from a musical standpoint, and he's like the singing Kendrick to me. Like, he can sing and rap, and he just has a good feel with his music, his song structure, his musicality, and what he speaks about. Somewhere in there's a message. And I think nowadays, musically, I'm looking for a message and how creative an artist can be to create music that entertains you from a dance or a listening standpoint. But somewhere there's some type of message that, a message that's kind of subliminally being implanted in us. And we need more of that. We need more of the people to make music that has a message, not for people to say, oh, damn, his music has a message, but more so to just feel it. Next thing you know, you're kind of like charged by listening to their music. And I think that's lacking a lot. That
makes sense. He's DJ Rasta Root at DJ Rasta Root across your social medias. Make sure you check out his website as well. SmokingShells.com. You started off saying that you don't listen to a lot of rap these days. Now, I read your bio, man. You're not just like a, mix and scratch and do. You're like a real ass musician, man. So if you're not listening to rap, what are you listening to?
I mean, I listen to anything across the board. Really, like I'm heavy into world music now. So anything from Brazilian baile funk to salsa, merengue, Afrobeat, dancehall reggae, anything that has like instruments and like getting back to the drum and the percussion and how that moves us and how that moves your soul, where you could just hear a drum pattern and it moves you. That's actually a rhythm in itself, or a melody in itself. And I think that's what I'm kind of like gravitating towards lately. So not necessarily any artist in general, but just any music that has that sound.
Word. See, that's why I like talking to dudes like you, man, because I'm not a musical dude. I just whatever's hot, I bob my head to it. You know what I mean? I don't fight it. I'm not like, oh, this just crap today, and everything was good 20 years ago. I'm not really that guy, man. Here's something else I need to know from you, man. why is there no hip hop Hall of Fame? You know, I know like Run DMC and Public Enemy, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But when I think of where hip hop has evolved from rap to this culture now that we now know of hip hop that includes our verbiage, our dress, our haircuts, our everything. I think there should be a Hall of Fame for that. And the DJ should have a place in a hip hop Hall of Fame. The mogul, the fashion designer, or the filmmaker.
Sure.
These people should have a place in the hip hop Hall of Fame. But why hasn't that come to be?
I absolutely agree with you, and I think, unfortunately, if they were to exist, it would people who would only watch BET would see that. You know, it still would be, I think, you know, isolated to our community, unfortunately, whereas the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has more of a global appeal.
Okay.
It's going to take some of those artists who have first of all, the financial power and the voice, because people follow them. So if, I'm not even going to say Jay-Z, but anybody of that caliber who's kind of, quote unquote, made it,
sure,
or to get together like they did with Tidal and say, hey, let's create a hip hop Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? If they were to do that, but they're too busy partying, they're too busy traveling and, you know, generating their own income and just talking about their income to take the time, because they in their head they want to be rock stars, and where do rock stars go? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, so it's unfortunate, and I think that's, to them, that is the top of the mountain, is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because they all claim to be rock stars, you know, whatever that is. And in the meantime, missing out on so much. Like, there was a time in hip hop where, like, the DJ was sort of the front man. It wasn't Rakim and Eric B. It was Eric B and Rakim. It wasn't the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. It was Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And I think we're seeing a little bit of a resurgence now with guys like Drama and Khaled and a couple of DJs being the front man now. How do you feel about that new resurgence now, the DJ becoming the headliner now? I think it's great. I think it's long overdue. I think we are the sole controllers of the party. We are the people that move the music. We are the ones who break the artists. Absolutely. We're the ones who tell people what's cool and what isn't. And I think a lot of people have looked at us over the years, especially because with the advent of the ease of becoming a DJ, they look at us as like iPod DJs or jukeboxes, or, oh, I could play that on my iPod or whatever, you know? So it's like, we have to take that back. We have to, as DJs, we have to embrace and honor the craft and make sure that people know the distinction between a DJ and a DJ that just had $600 and could buy the equipment and just play. You know,
tell me about that. Let's get into that, man. Tell me about real DJing, because I have a little console back there that I play around with at the crib, but I know I ain't no damn DJ. Yeah, and I appreciate you, you know, recognizing the distinction. You know what I mean? I respect that way more than someone who says, yeah, I got some gear, I can spin, and then it's just like, and nothing against controllers, because I have them too. Me, dude, I know, but it's more so like, just knowing the history. You don't have to be a vinyl DJ, but know the history, know what an acetate, know what a dub plate is, know how it's created, you know, and just learn it. Like, more than anything, just learn it and honor the craft and give the craft credence, because there are a lot of super highly technical and talented DJs out there that can literally manipulate the turntable like an instrument, you know? And it's almost like an old jazz musician that's blowing on the trumpet or the flugelhorn, where they're doing stuff that you can't even, you know, imagine. And there's turntable technicians, not just turntablists, but DJs in clubs that can manipulate sound and move people. And that's a very, like, powerful thing to be in a room with 300 people and be able to overall, not everybody, but overall be able to move people in the direction you see fit for the night. Absolutely. You know, it's not easy to do. You can't buy that. Absolutely. He's world-renowned DJ, manager of Tribe Called Quest, and the late, great Phife Dawg, DJ Rasta Root. He's at DJ Rasta Root. Tell me about the process, though, because back in the day, I used to hear about dudes who wanted to become DJs. They had to attach themselves to an actual DJ and lug around crates and, you know, do all the grunt work and set up the equipment. But now, you know, you kind of show up with the console, sit it down, plug in, and you're ready to rock. How does someone that wants to become a real DJ, someone who appreciates the craft, how do they get into that space? I think the best way is to network. Like, find someone who is open to teaching you, a mentor, if you will,
and you kind of step in that role of like an intern or just a mentor, not just, but a mentor. And then that person, before you go and invest your money, kind of gives you like gems and tidbits and allows you to like set things up and get a feel for it. And, through their experience, you can learn a little bit before you go and invest. Cause it can be a lot of money to just go ahead and just invest. So I've done that with people that have wanted to try it out. And if I feel like they're serious and the vibe's there, I'll let them hang out and let them kind of, see what we do when we're in the booth and give them access to the other side, if you will, behind the DJ, looking at the crowd. And it's an invaluable experience. Even when I still go out and watch my friends play, I still learn stuff. I don't think you ever stop learning your craft,
Yeah, exactly. Tell me about Smoking Shells, man. Tell me about how that came to be, and tell me about what's going on with it now.
Definitely, yeah. So Smoking Shells is a high polished aluminum DJ turntable head shell that I developed and released. And basically the head shell is what holds the cartridge and stylus that goes on the record that plays. So my head shell is polished aluminum, so it looks almost chrome.
Okay.
It's reflective, so anything that's shone on it, it reflects off of it. So it's really cool in club settings or pictures. What I've done lately is I've been able to like laser engrave branding on there. So I'll do like the Red Bull 3 style ones. I'll do like if you're a DJ and you have a name, I'll take your logo and put it on the shell. And the good thing about that is, DJs love to see their name, number one, just off of ego. Number two, it's great branding. Number three, it's highly unlikely someone's going to steal head shells with somebody else's name etched into it, So those are my three key points. And I felt like, I've been DJing 27 years, I think, this year, 27 or 28 years. It's not something I want to do actively as far as in clubs for a lot longer. So I felt like, this craft, this culture has given me so much, the ability to travel, the ability to meet, people like Phife and his group and other groups and tour the world. I felt like I would figure out a way to give back to the culture, but also not only give back to the culture, but also give me the ability to exercise, my business savviness or, my business acumen and research, develop, and launch and promote and, make the world know about this product, without having $4 million in promo budget. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. I got one more thing for you, man. I appreciate you taking the time to join me, especially in light of everything that's going on this week. He's DJ Rasta Root at DJ Rasta Root on all your social media platforms. The website, you can get those, what do they call? The shell?
Smoking shells, head shells, yep.
What do they call the thing that you engrave? What did you say they were?
They're called head shells.
Told you I ain't no damn DJ. Head shells. To get your head shells, your chrome-looking head shells, go to SmokingShells.com. That's SmokingShells.com. I got to ask you about songs in the key of Phife. Tell us about that real quick before I let you go.
Sure, certainly. So, Phife from a Tribe Called Quest passed away March 22nd this year. And, one of the album titles that he was thinking of over the years was one called Songs in the Key of Phife, a playoff of Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. We ended up calling his album that's going to be released called Give Thanks, but that title always stuck in my head. So once he passed, I felt like I would put together an event, a community-based event that would promote the awareness of chronic kidney disease prevention. And I titled the event Songs in the Key of Phife, or I titled the movement that. So we've done one in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and we'll be moving to different cities and really just engaging our people, our African-American brothers and sisters and Latinos to get screened for kidney disease and be able to prevent it. So we've partnered with the National Kidney Foundation to help us with that endeavor. And, it's something Phife was very keen on doing. And so I decided to take that as one of my projects and one of my philanthropies to help carry on his legacy, his name, his music, as well as help, my fellow brother and sister.
That's some good stuff, man. Like I said earlier, man, I appreciate you taking the time out to join me tonight. I appreciate your insight on the recent events as well, man. I wish you well and everything you got going on.
You too, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, man. Thanks a lot. You guys have a good weekend, and I'll be at Face Off Fridays at MJQ tonight.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to do that. Thank you, man. Tell us everything you got going on, man. Where you going to be at MJQ?
Yeah, I'll be at MJQ. We are doing, we do every second Friday, we do an event we've been doing for the past 11 years. This is our 11th anniversary. It's called Face Off Fridays, and it's myself, Job Prince, hosted by Ras Goldie. It goes from 11 to 3, and it's at MJQ Concourse off of Ponce de Leon.
There it is, man. DJ Rasta Root, y'all appreciate you, my brother. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too, man. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
No doubt.